Picture this, a technique so powerful it could transform your exam results forever. You might think it's just another study trick or some fancy memorization method. But here's the twist. It's not about cramming more information into your brain. It's about changing who you are from the inside out. This isn't just positive thinking. It's a way to actually reshape your reality when it comes to exams. Now you might be wondering, what's the big deal? I've tried all sorts of study techniques before. But here's the thing. If you don't use this special method, you could be setting yourself up for more stress, more late-night panic sessions, and exam results that don't reflect your true potential. On the flip side, if you give this a shot, you might just find yourself walking into exams with a new sense of calm and confidence. Imagine feeling prepared, focused, and ready to show off what you know. That's the power of this technique. Let's talk about something called the mirror principle. Don't worry, it's not as complicated as it sounds. In fact, it's pretty simple when you break it down. The mirror principle says that what we see in our lives, including our exam results, is like a reflection of what's going on inside our heads. Think about it this way. Have you ever had a friend who always says they're bad at math? No matter how much they study, they still struggle when it comes to math tests. It's like they're stuck in a loop. That's the mirror principle in action. Their belief that they're bad at math is being reflected back to them in their test scores. But here's the good news. If negative thoughts can create negative results, positive thoughts can create positive results. It's like having a superpower that you never knew you had. And the best part? Anyone can learn to use it. Let's break this down with a real-life example. Imagine two students, Alex and Sam. They're both pretty smart, and they both study hard. But Alex always tells himself, "I'm just not good at exams. I always freeze up and forget everything." Sam, on the other hand, has started telling herself, "I'm getting better at exams every day. I can stay calm and remember what I've learned." Come exam day, Alex walks in feeling nervous and unsure. As soon as he sees the questions, his mind goes blank, just like he expected. Sam walks in feeling confident. She takes a deep breath, remembers her positive thoughts, and starts working through the questions one by one. Who do you think is going to do better? This isn't just make-believe. Scientists have studied this stuff and found out that our thoughts and beliefs can have a real impact on how we perform. It's not magic. It's about how our brains work. When we believe we can do something, our brains are more likely to find ways to make it happen. But don't worry if you've had negative thoughts about exams in the past. The great thing about the mirror principle is that you can start changing that reflection anytime you want. It's like having a chance to repaint a picture. You get to choose the colors and the design. Now you might be thinking, okay, this sounds good, but how do I actually do it? That's exactly what we're going to dive into next. We're going to explore 4 key ways to use the mirror principle to transform your exam experience. These aren't just quick fixes or surface-level changes. We're talking about reshaping how you see yourself as a student and how you approach exams. Get ready, because by the time we're done, you'll have a whole new toolkit for tackling exams. And the best part? These are skills that can help you way beyond just acing tests. They can change how you approach challenges in all areas of your life. So, are you ready to discover how to use the mirror principle to become an exam superstar? Let's jump in and start exploring the first key to unlocking your exam potential. Your relationship with exams. It's complicated, but it doesn't have to be. Let's talk about your relationship with exams. Yes, you heard that right, relationship. Just like you have relationships with friends or family, you also have a relationship with exams. And just like other relationships, this one can be complicated. Think about it. How do you feel when you hear the word exam? Do you get a knot in your stomach? Do your palms get sweaty? Or do you feel a little spark of excitement at the chance to show what you know? Your gut reaction says a lot about your relationship with exams. Many of us have a pretty rocky relationship with exams. We see them as these big, scary monsters that are out to get us. We tell ourselves things like, "I'm terrible at taking tests," or "I always mess up on exam day, no matter how much I study." Sound familiar? Here's the thing. These thoughts aren't just harmless little worries. They're actually shaping your reality. Remember the mirror principle we talked about earlier? Well, this is where it really comes into play. If you keep telling yourself you're bad at exams, guess what? The mirror of reality is going to reflect that right back at you. But don't worry, because here's the good news. You have the power to change this relationship. You can go from being frenemies with exams to being, well, if not best buddies, at least on much friendlier terms. So how do we do this? It starts with changing your inner dialogue. That's just a fancy way of saying the things you tell yourself about exams. Instead of, "I always mess up on exams," try something like, "I'm learning to stay calm and focused during exams." Instead of, "I'm terrible at math tests," how about, "I'm improving my math skills every day." Now, I know what you're thinking, but that's not true. I really do mess up on exams. Here's the secret. It doesn't matter if it's 100% true right now. What matters is that you're giving your brain a new direction to work towards. You're painting a new picture in the mirror. Let's try a little exercise. Close your eyes for a moment, well, after you read this paragraph, and imagine yourself as a confident test taker. Picture yourself walking into the exam room feeling calm and prepared. See yourself reading through the questions, nodding as you recognize topics you've studied. Imagine the feeling of satisfaction as you write down your answers, knowing you're doing your best. Really try to feel those positive emotions. How did that feel? Pretty good, right? That's the version of you that we're going to work on bringing to life. And it all starts with changing how you talk to yourself about exams. But changing your inner dialogue is just the first step. To really transform your relationship with exams, you need to start seeing them differently. Instead of viewing exams as terrifying obstacles, try to see them as opportunities. They're chances to show what you've learned, to challenge yourself, and to grow. Think about it this way. Every time you take an exam, you're not just being tested on the subject matter, you're also practicing important life skills like staying calm under pressure, managing your time, and focusing your thoughts. These are skills that will help you long after you finish school. Here's another way to look at it. Exams are like fitness trainers for your brain. They push you to remember information, to think critically, and to express your ideas clearly. Just like how a tough workout makes your muscles stronger, challenging exams can make your brain stronger. Now, I'm not saying you have to suddenly love exams. It's okay if you still feel a little nervous, but by changing how you think and talk about them, you can start to build a more positive relationship with exams. And that positive relationship? It's going to show up in your results. Remember, This isn't about pretending everything is perfect. It's about choosing to focus on growth and possibility rather than fear and limitation. It's about telling yourself a new story, one where you're capable, confident, and continually improving. So, your homework, don't worry, it's not graded, is to start paying attention to how you talk to yourself about exams. When you catch yourself thinking something negative, pause and try to rephrase it in a more positive way. It might feel a bit weird at first, like you're not being honest with yourself, but stick with it. You're not lying to yourself. You're giving yourself directions for where you want to go. As you practice this, you'll start to notice something amazing. Your new, more positive thoughts will start to feel more natural. And as they do, you'll likely start to see changes in how you feel about exams, how you prepare for them, and ultimately, how you perform. Remember, your relationship with exams is just that, a relationship. And like any relationship, it can change and grow over time. With a little effort and patience, you can transform exam time from something you dread into an opportunity you're ready to tackle. But changing your relationship with exams is just the first key to unlocking your exam potential. In our next section, we're going to talk about something that trips up a lot of people when they're trying to make changes: time. Because when it comes to using the mirror principle for exam success, patience isn't just a virtue, it's a necessity. Give it time. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is exam confidence. All right, now that we've talked about changing your relationship with exams, you might be feeling pretty excited. Maybe you're thinking, great, I'll just think positive thoughts and ace my next test. Well, hold on there, Speedy. There's something really important we need to talk about: time. You see, one of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to change their mindset is expecting instant results. It's like planting a seed and then checking every 5 minutes to see if it's grown into a tree yet. Change, real change, takes time. Think about it this way. If you've spent years telling yourself you're bad at exams, those thoughts have created deep grooves in your mind. It's like a path that's been walked on over and over until it's well worn. Changing those thought patterns is like creating a new path. At first, it might not seem natural. It might even feel a bit uncomfortable. But the more you walk that new path, the easier it becomes. This is where the second key of our mirror principle comes in: giving it time. When you start changing your thoughts about exams, you're not going to see results overnight. And that's okay. In fact, it's totally normal. Let's use an example to make this clearer. Imagine you're learning to play a musical instrument. On day one, you're probably going to sound pretty terrible, right? But you don't give up just because you don't sound like a pro after one lesson. You keep practicing day after day. Slowly but surely, you start to improve. You might not even notice the changes day to day, but after a few months, you look back and realize how far you've come. It's the same with changing your exam mindset. At first, those positive thoughts might feel forced or fake. You might still feel nervous or doubtful. But if you keep at it, day after day, you'll start to see changes. Here's the really cool part. Even though the changes might seem slow at first, they tend to build on each other. It's like rolling a snowball down a hill. At first it's small and doesn't seem to be doing much, but as it rolls, it picks up more snow, getting bigger and faster. Before you know it, you've got a huge snowball racing down the hill. So, how long does it take to see changes? Well, That's different for everyone. Some people might notice small improvements in a few weeks. For others, it might take months. The important thing is not to get discouraged if you don't see big changes right away. Here's a tip. Instead of focusing on the end goal, like acing every test, try to notice small improvements. Maybe you feel a little less nervous before a quiz. Or maybe you catch yourself replacing a negative thought with a positive one without even trying. These small wins are signs that you're on the right track. Now you might be thinking, but I've got a big exam coming up soon. I don't have months to wait. Don't worry. Even if you're short on time, starting to change your mindset now can still help. Every positive thought, every moment of practicing calm is like making a small deposit in your exam success bank account. It all adds up. Here's another important thing to remember. Setbacks are normal. You might have days where you fall back into old thought patterns. Maybe you bomb a pop quiz and find yourself thinking, "See, I knew I was bad at tests." That's okay. It doesn't mean you failed or that this doesn't work. It just means you're human. When setbacks happen, and they will, don't beat yourself up. Instead, think of it as a chance to practice bouncing back. Remind yourself that change takes time. Take a deep breath and get back on track with your positive thoughts. One way to help yourself stay patient is to keep a journal of your progress. Every day, write down one positive thought you had about exams or studying. It could be as simple as, "I studied for 10 minutes today without getting distracted," or "I felt calm when I saw a practice test question." Over time, you'll be able to look back and see how far you've come. Remember, using the mirror principle to change your exam experience is like training for a marathon. You wouldn't expect to run 26 miles on your first day of training, right? You'd start small, maybe running for just a few minutes at a time. You'd gradually build up your stamina and strength. And even on days when you felt tired or sore, you'd keep going because you know that consistency is key. The same goes for changing your exam mindset. Start small, be consistent, and most importantly, be patient with yourself. Every step forward, no matter how small, is progress. So as you start applying what you're learning about the mirror principle to your exam preparation, remember, give it time, trust the process, and keep moving forward, one positive thought at a time. Before you know it, you'll start to see your new, more confident exam-taking self reflected back at you in the mirror of reality. Now that we understand the importance of patience, let's move on to our third key. This one is all about focusing your mental energy in the right direction. Are you ready to discover how to harness the power of your thoughts to create the exam experience you want? Let's dive in. Focus on what you want, the power of positive direction. Let's talk about something that might sound a bit strange at first. The idea that what you focus on grows. It's like having a superpower, but one that works in both good and bad ways. When it comes to exams, this idea can be a game changer. Think about the last time you had a big test coming up. What kind of thoughts were running through your head? For many of us, it's stuff like, "I hope I don't fail," or "What if I forget everything?" Here's the tricky part. Even though these thoughts come from wanting to do well, they're actually focusing on what you don't want. Remember our mirror principle? Well, it doesn't just reflect your beliefs about yourself, it also reflects what you're focusing on. So if you're constantly thinking about failing or forgetting, guess what? you're actually giving more power to those very things you're trying to avoid. But don't worry, because here's where your superpower comes in. You have the ability to choose what you focus on. And when you focus on what you want instead of what you don't want, amazing things can start to happen. So how do we do this? It starts with flipping those negative thoughts on their head. Instead of, I hope I don't fail, try, I'm going to do my best. Instead of, what if I forget everything? How about, I'm good at remembering what I study. Let's practice this with some common exam worries. Instead of, I'm so stressed about this test. Try, I'm learning to stay calm and focused during exams. Instead of, I always run out of time. Try, I'm getting better at managing my time during tests. Instead of, I'm terrible at math problems. Try, I'm improving my math skills every day. See how that works? We're not ignoring the challenges. We're just choosing to focus on the positive direction we want to go in. Now, you might be thinking, but what if I really am struggling with something? Isn't it fake to pretend otherwise? Here's the thing. You're not pretending the struggle doesn't exist. You're choosing to focus on your ability to overcome it. It's like the difference between staring at a big hill you need to climb and looking towards the top. Both acknowledge the hill, but one keeps you stuck at the bottom while the other helps you start moving up. This isn't just positive thinking fluff either. Studies have shown that our brains are really good at finding evidence for whatever we believe. So when you start focusing on improving and doing well, your brain will start noticing all the times you make progress or remember something correctly. It's like tuning a radio to pick up a specific station. Suddenly, you'll start hearing it everywhere. Here's a cool exercise to try. For the next week, make it a goal to catch yourself every time you have a negative thought about exams. When you notice one, take a moment to flip it into a positive focus. It might feel a bit forced at first, but stick with it. You're training your brain to look in a new direction. Remember, this isn't about ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. If you're struggling with a particular subject, it's still important to acknowledge that and seek help. But even then, you can focus on the solution rather than the problem. Instead of, I'm hopeless at chemistry, try, I'm going to find new ways to understand chemistry better. As you practice this positive focus, you'll likely start to notice changes in how you feel about exams. You might find yourself feeling more confident, less stressed, and more motivated to study. And here's the really cool part. As your feelings change, your actions often follow. You might find yourself studying more effectively, asking better questions in class, or staying calmer during tests. But don't just take my word for it. Give it a try and see for yourself. Start small if you need to. Maybe pick one subject or one type of test to practice with. Pay attention to how you talk to yourself about it, both in your head and out loud. Make a conscious effort to steer your thoughts towards what you want to achieve. And remember, this isn't just about exams. This skill of focusing on what you want rather than what you don't want can be incredibly powerful in all areas of your life. It's like having a compass that always points you in the direction of your goals. So, are you ready to harness the power of your focus? It's time to start painting a new picture in the mirror of your reality, one where you're capable, confident, and constantly improving. Let's move on to our next key, where we'll learn how to take this positive focus and use it to create a whole new exam reality. Now that we've talked about focusing on what you want, let's take things a step further. It's time to create a whole new exam reality for yourself. This might sound like something out of a sci-fi movie, but I promise it's a lot simpler and more powerful than you might think. Here's the big idea. Instead of just thinking about doing well on exams, we're going to imagine ourselves as the kind of student who naturally does well on exams. We're going to step into the shoes of our ideal student self and start living from that place. Think about it this way. Have you ever had to act in a school play? Even if you were nervous at first, once you stepped into character, you probably found yourself speaking and acting differently. Maybe you even felt different. That's exactly what we're going to do here. But instead of pretending to be a character in a play, you're going to start acting like the successful student you want to be. So let's start by painting a picture of this ideal student version of yourself. Close your eyes for a moment and really imagine it. How does this student version of you approach studying? How do they feel when they walk into an exam room? What do they do when they come across a difficult question? Maybe you see yourself calmly reviewing notes before a test, confidently raising your hand to ask questions in class, or taking deep breaths to stay focused during an exam. Whatever it is, try to make this picture as vivid and detailed as possible. Now, here's where the magic happens. Instead of just imagining this ideal student self, you're going to start acting like them in your daily life. It's like that old saying, fake it till you make it, but with a twist. You're not really faking anything. You're choosing to embody the qualities you want to develop. Morning mindset. Start each day by reminding yourself of the kind of student you're choosing to be. You might even want to say it out loud. I am a confident and capable student. I approach my studies with focus and enthusiasm. Study like your ideal self. When it's time to study, ask yourself, how would my ideal student self approach this? Maybe they'd create a study schedule, find a quiet place to focus, or use active recall techniques. Whatever it is, do your best to act it out. Exam preparation. As exam day approaches, imagine how your ideal student self would prepare. Would they review their notes calmly, practice deep breathing exercises, visualize success? Do these things yourself. During the exam, when you're actually taking the test, channel your ideal student self. Sit the way they would sit. Breathe the way they would breathe. Approach each question with the calm confidence they would have. Now you might be thinking, but isn't this just pretending? How can acting like someone else really change anything? Here's the amazing thing. Your brain doesn't always know the difference between what's real and what's vividly imagined. By consistently acting like this ideal student version of yourself, you're actually training your brain to make this your new normal. It's like learning any new skill. At first, it might feel awkward or unnatural, but the more you practice, the more natural it becomes. Eventually, you're not acting anymore. You've actually become that confident, capable student you imagined. Here's a real-life example to illustrate this. Think about someone you know who's really good at taking tests. Maybe it's a friend or a classmate. How do they act before an exam? How do they carry themselves? What kind of things do they say? Now try borrowing some of these behaviors. You're not trying to be exactly like them. You're just using them as inspiration as you create your own ideal student self. Remember This isn't about changing who you are at your core. It's about bringing out the best parts of yourself and developing new skills and habits. You're not becoming a different person. You're becoming the best version of yourself. As you practice stepping into this new exam reality, pay attention to how it makes you feel. You might notice that you feel more confident, more focused, or more motivated. These feelings are signs that your new reality is starting to take shape. And here's something really cool. As you start to embody this ideal student self, you might find that it affects other areas of your life too. The confidence you develop for exams might help you speak up more in class. The focus you cultivate for studying might help you in your hobbies or sports. It's like dropping a pebble in a pond. The ripples spread out far beyond where they started. Now I want to be clear. This doesn't mean you'll never feel nervous or unsure again. Even the most successful students have moments of doubt. The difference is that now you have a powerful tool to help you navigate those moments. When you feel anxiety creeping in, you can remind yourself of your ideal student self and step back into that mindset. Creating this new exam reality is a process. It won't happen overnight, and there might be times when it feels challenging. That's okay. Remember what we learned about giving it time? This is where that patience comes in handy. Keep practicing, keep embodying your ideal student self, and watch as your new reality starts to take shape. So, are you ready to step into your new exam reality? It's time to become the student you've always known you could be. Let's move on to our final key, where we'll learn how to put all of these ideas into practice with a powerful exercise. Now that we've explored all these powerful ideas, it's time to put them into action. This practical exercise is like your personal roadmap to exam success. It brings together everything we've talked about, changing your relationship with exams, giving it time, focusing on what you want, and creating a new exam reality. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to create a visualization and affirmation routine that you can use every day. This might sound a bit strange if you've never done anything like this before, but stick with me. This exercise can be incredibly powerful in reshaping how you think about and approach exams. Find a quiet place. You'll want to do this exercise somewhere you won't be interrupted. It could be your bedroom, a quiet corner of the library, or even a peaceful spot outdoors. Get comfortable. Sit or lie down in a comfortable position. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths to help yourself relax. Visualize your ideal exam experience. Imagine yourself on the day of an important exam. But here's the key. You're going to imagine everything going perfectly. See yourself waking up feeling refreshed and confident. Picture yourself calmly reviewing your notes over breakfast. Visualize walking into the exam room feeling prepared and focused. Now, imagine yourself sitting down to take the test. See yourself reading through the questions, nodding as you recognize topics you've studied. Feel the sense of calm confidence as you write down your answers. Picture yourself finishing the exam with time to spare, feeling satisfied with your performance. Really try to make this visualization as vivid as possible. What are you wearing? What does the exam room look like? How does the pen feel in your hand as you write? The more details you can imagine, the more powerful this visualization becomes. Now that you've visualized your ideal exam experience, it's time to create some positive statements to reinforce this new reality. These are called affirmations. Here are some examples to get you started. I am capable of understanding and remembering what I study. I stay calm and focused during exams. I am constantly improving my study skills and exam performance. I approach exams with confidence and a clear mind. Feel free to create your own affirmations that resonate with you. The key is to phrase them in the present tense, as if they're already true. Practice daily. Here's where the giving it time part comes in. Set aside 5 to 10 minutes each day to do this visualization and affirmation exercise. You might want to do it first thing in the morning to set a positive tone for your day, or in the evening to reinforce these ideas before you sleep. As you practice this exercise day after day, you'll start to notice changes. You might find yourself feeling more confident about your studies. You might catch yourself automatically replacing negative thoughts with positive ones. You might even notice improvements in your actual exam performance. But remember, this isn't a magic spell that will instantly transform you into a perfect student. It's a tool to help you reshape your thoughts and beliefs about exams. It works by consistently reinforcing positive ideas and images in your mind. Here's a tip to make this exercise even more powerful. Engage all your senses in your visualization. Don't just see yourself succeeding. Hear the sound of your pen on the paper. Feel the sense of calm in your body. Even imagine the smell of the exam room. The more real you can make it in your mind, the more impact it will have. You can also adapt this exercise as you go along. If you find certain affirmations particularly helpful, you might want to focus on those. If you notice yourself struggling with a specific aspect of exams, you can create a visualization that addresses that challenge. Now, you might be wondering, what if I can't visualize clearly? Or what if I don't believe the affirmations? That's okay. The power of this exercise isn't in how perfectly you can picture things or how strongly you believe the affirmations at first. The power is in the consistent practice. Even if it feels awkward or fake at first, keep at it. Your brain is incredibly adaptable, and over time, these positive images and ideas will start to feel more natural. Remember, this exercise is just one tool in your exam success toolkit. It works best when combined with good study habits, proper rest, and seeking help when you need it. Think of it as training your mind to support your efforts rather than a replacement for those efforts. As you practice this exercise, pay attention to how it makes you feel. You might notice that you start looking forward to your study sessions more. You might find yourself feeling more optimistic about upcoming exams. These are all signs that your new exam reality is starting to take shape. And here's something really exciting. The skills you're developing through this exercise, visualization, positive self-talk, mental rehearsal, are valuable far beyond just exams. These are techniques used by top athletes, successful business people, and high achievers in all fields. By practicing them now, you're not just preparing for your next test. You're developing life skills that can help you succeed in whatever you choose to do. So, are you ready to start your journey to exam success? Remember, every journey begins with a single step. Your step is to commit to doing this exercise every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. Trust the process, be patient with yourself, and watch as your new, confident, exam-ready self begins to emerge. Now that you've started creating your new exam reality, it's important to talk about how to keep it going, especially when things get tough. Because let's face it, there will be challenges. You might have a bad day, fail a pop quiz, or just feel overwhelmed with your workload. These moments are normal, but they can shake your newfound confidence if you're not prepared. Think of your new exam mindset like a garden. You've planted the seeds of success with your visualizations and affirmations. But just like a real garden, it needs constant care and attention to flourish. Here's how you can maintain your positive exam mindset, even when the going gets tough. Expect setbacks. First things first, understand that setbacks are a normal part of any journey. If you expect everything to be perfect all the time, you're setting yourself up for disappointment. Instead, view challenges as opportunities to practice your new mindset skills. Reframe negative experiences. When something doesn't go as planned, take a moment to reframe it in your mind. Instead of thinking, "I failed this quiz," "I'm terrible at this subject," try, "This quiz showed me what areas I need to focus on more. Now I can improve." This shift in perspective can turn a negative experience into a valuable learning opportunity. Use positive self-talk. Remember those affirmations we created? They're not just for your daily visualization exercise. Use them whenever you need a boost. If you're feeling stressed before a test, take a deep breath and repeat your favorite affirmation to yourself. It's like having a supportive friend in your head, always ready with an encouraging word. Celebrate small wins. Don't wait for the big victories to pat yourself on the back. Celebrate the small wins too. Did you study for an extra 15 minutes today? Great. Did you ask a question in class even though you were nervous? Awesome. Recognizing these small steps forward can help keep you motivated. Stay connected to your why. Remember why you started this journey in the first place. Maybe you want to get into a specific college or prove to yourself that you can excel academically. Whatever your reason, keep it in mind. When things get tough, connecting to your bigger purpose can help you push through. Practice self-compassion. Be kind to yourself. If you have a bad day or don't perform as well as you'd hoped, don't beat yourself up. Treat yourself with the same kindness you'd show a good friend. Remember, everyone has off days, even top students. Adjust and adapt. As you go along, you might find that certain techniques work better for you than others. Maybe you prefer doing your visualization exercise in the morning rather than at night. Or perhaps you've come up with new affirmations that resonate more strongly with you. Be flexible and willing to adjust your approach as needed. Seek support. Remember, you're not alone in this journey. Don't be afraid to reach out for help when you need it. This could mean talking to a teacher, studying with friends, or even sharing your goals with family members who can offer encouragement. Keep a progress journal. Sometimes, when we're in the thick of things, it's hard to see how far we've come. Keeping a journal can help. Each week, write down one way you've improved or one challenge you've overcome. Over time, you'll have a record of your progress that can boost your confidence when you need it most. Visualize overcoming challenges. In your daily visualization exercise, don't just picture perfect scenarios. Sometimes, visualize yourself facing a challenge and overcoming it. See yourself staying calm when you encounter a difficult question on a test. Imagine yourself bouncing back after a disappointing grade. This mental rehearsal can help you handle real challenges more effectively when they arise. Remember, maintaining your new mindset is an ongoing process. There will be ups and downs, but each experience, good or bad, is an opportunity to strengthen your mental muscles. Just like physical exercise, the more you practice, the stronger you become. And here's something really important to keep in mind. This journey isn't just about acing exams. It's about developing a resilient, positive mindset that will serve you well in all areas of your life. The skills you're learning now, reframing negative experiences, practicing self-compassion, celebrating small wins, these are life skills that will help you navigate challenges far beyond the classroom. So when you face a tough moment, take a deep breath and remind yourself, I'm not just preparing for an exam, I'm training my mind for success in life. With this perspective, every challenge becomes an opportunity for growth. We've covered a lot of ground in this video, exploring the power of the mirror principle and how it can transform your exam experience. Let's take a moment to recap the key points. We learned about the mirror principle and how our thoughts and beliefs shape our reality. We discussed the importance of changing our relationship with exams, seeing them as opportunities rather than obstacles. We emphasized the need for patience, understanding that real change takes time. We explored the power of focusing on what we want rather than what we fear. We learned how to create a new exam reality by embodying our ideal student self. We went through a practical visualization and affirmation exercise to reinforce these new ideas. Finally, we talked about how to maintain this new mindset even when facing challenges. But here's the thing, all of this knowledge is just the beginning. The real magic happens when you take these ideas and put them into practice in your own life. It's like being given a map to buried treasure. Exciting, full of potential, but ultimately useless unless you actually follow it. So, what's your next step? I encourage you to start with the visualization exercise we discussed. Commit to doing it for just 5 minutes a day for the next week. See how it feels. Notice any changes in your thoughts or emotions about exams. Remember, you're not looking for overnight transformation. You're planting seeds that will grow over time. As you embark on this journey, keep in mind that you're doing more than just preparing for exams. You're developing skills and mindsets that will serve you well throughout your life. The ability to reframe challenges, to visualize success, to maintain a positive focus, these are powerful tools in any endeavor. And remember, you're not alone in this. Every student faces challenges with exams. By taking these steps to change your mindset, you're giving yourself a powerful advantage. You're choosing to be proactive, to take control of your academic experience rather than being at the mercy of stress and anxiety. Will it always be easy? Probably not. There will be days when you doubt yourself, when old negative thoughts try to creep back in. But now you have the tools to handle those moments. You have the power to choose your focus, to step into your ideal student self, to reshape your exam reality. So, are you ready to begin this journey? Are you ready to see just how capable, confident, and successful you can be? Your new exam reality is waiting for you to step into it. All it takes is that first step, and you can take it right now. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of the best manifestation technique for exams. I believe in you, and I'm excited to see how you'll use these tools to transform your academic experience. Remember, every great journey begins with a single step. Your step starts now. Good luck and happy manifesting.